Good day, my loves. Good day. I hope you are well. I am sending you love, peace of mind, and some kisses and hugs. It is Saturday, November the 13th. At what time? Let me see. At 1:45 in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. And I've had a wonderful day. I've been fighting a freaking headache trying to turn into a migraine, it seems. And it started yesterday at my left eye, right? And so I have one pill left that my nephew gave me. And I'm not taking it right now because it has to be like thumping before I do that. And so I've been drinking a ton of water, you guys. I done had some tea and everything, and it's still like right here, still right here. Anywho, I just told you what I'm going through. I hope you are well. I hope you are. I hope you find a reason to smile today, no matter what's going on, even if you are fighting a headache like me, okay? And I refuse to let it get me down, y'all. I got up this morning. I had me some yogi tea, and I like them not just because of the flavors, but there's one particular kind that I got that I really don't like, but I'm going to take it anyway because it's good for me. Um, because they have the little motivational quotes on a tea bag tags, right? And so I got up and I prepared my meal. Um, I made me some spaghetti squash and I cut it up in fours because, of course, I'm not eating all of that in one sitting. So I cut it up in fours and I leave one out and I put the rest in the freezer. I haven't prepared food like that in a minute, right? I haven't prepared food like that in a minute. But, anywho, I didn't even introduce myself. I just started talking because, we old friends right now. You my nieces and nephews, depending on how old you are, or you my homegirls if you're around my age, or you my aunties or my great aunties. So we all family. If you've clicked onto this channel, then that means you vibe where I vibe. That means your energetic level is where mine is. And so we are kin, we are family. We are also kin to the ones that don't vibe where we are, but understand, and understand that at some point in our life, we have vibed at that level, which is why we attracted those types of people. Know that that's something I've had to gather myself. That's where that, you know, everybody you meet is a part of who you are. They are, what did I say in my last video? They are a reflection. They are a reflection. They aren't who you are per se, but they are a reflection of you. And what I gather that to mean for myself, and maybe you can apply it to your situation, is so when and it's a like you may be looking at a person. Hey y'all, spiritually savage here. We family up in here. We talk and we communicate. So if you haven't done so, please subscribe below and like the button and comment. I'm here to discuss, not just tell my story and host to teach, but I want to hear you guys' story too. And I think I'm more comfortable saying that now because I was really in pain. Okay, I was really in pain, and if you watch any of my last videos, and this is your first video, then you don't understand. You really don't. So I suggest or would advise or would like it if you just take a look at some earlier videos, okay? And you can even comment then. I'll still respond to comments because this is like a learning lesson. You guys have clicked onto my channel because you're in the process of waking up, or you have already awakened up and you're like, what in the world is going on? So if I do now, if that is where you are at in your journey, then I want you to go back and you'll see a whole lot more content about what you are experiencing. Because 9 times out of 10, if you clicked onto this channel, honey, child, baby boy, baby girl, there's black magic being done on you. And if you are new, you're like, what? Huh? Say what? Okay, yeah, go back and look. And I'll probably still be putting out content on black magic. I am. Um, I've been waiting on God to move me, y'all. I'm being real honest and transparent. I have so many things that I want to do, but I want to do them in a clean, energetic, positive, charged environment. And it's like the longer I'm here, it's like, okay, God, okay, well, I started here. Like that's the whole thing. How this whole channel started. I didn't want to start a channel sitting in my sister's house. I really didn't. I really didn't. I wanted to be in my own space, with the lights, camera, hair done, and my nails done. I wanted all of that because that's who I was. Literally, I've lived a very blessed life, even with the black magic, because I took everything in stride. I really did. I really did, until God opened me up and my third eye became decalcified, and found out about black magic through tarot, y'all. And I had been watching tarot with a homegirl at the time, who I found out was like enemy number one, karmic, her and her coven of witches. And that's a whole nother story. But anywho, so it was like, when that part happened, when I became awakened to the literal duality of spirits, as we are here awakened on earth in these bodies, in these vessels. It was a trip, y'all. And I told homegirl, because at the time I thought she was my friend. I did. I didn't know she was soaking up everything that I was saying and doing and breathing to mimic me. I didn't catch on to her mimicking me until I read about the narcissist, and I had asked her, do you think you're a narcissist? Now, mind you, I've said to her several times that we are twins. And I said that. I said, you just walked on this side of the street and I walked on this side of the street, but we was on the same street. She was just on the left, and I was just on the right. And I've said this to her plenty of times because I really did think I was talking to my sister girl. I really did. But she didn't click until after the dude that I hadn't even been in a real relationship with clicked, and I recognized who he was after I talked to him. But before that was before this was after I was watching videos about narcissists. So when I asked her if she thought she was a narcissist, she said no. But when she asked me, I admitted that I did have some narcissistic tendencies, like wanting to control my environment and control the people that are around me. But it came from a genuine, and it came from a good place. That came from because I knew the consequences of people's actions. I knew it. I could foretell it. I foresaw it. And that's one of the things they didn't like, and it was always the truth. But in my early days, my mouth is hell. My mouth is hell. But I speak the truth. I'm never gonna lie. But I see the truth in people that they don't want to see in themselves. And as a naive person, I didn't realize that that was a gift that God had given me. That was a gift. And I was reckless with it, because when I was mad. And I shot straight for the jugular. And it was the truth. But if people are still living in darkness and you deliver a truth like that to them and they're not willing to see it and they don't want to see it, it becomes a problem for the people around you. I didn't realize that that was what I was doing, and that it became a problem for me until after the first time I needed help and my family wasn't there. And it was because I had stung them. But it was with the truth. So now I just mind my business, unless somebody's life is in danger, you know. But they don't want me involved, right? So anywho, that was just a little bit about me. But so I actually logged on, and that normally how it happens. So somebody need to hear what I said. Somebody. I don't know who. I don't know who. But while I logged in, I'm still on my hiatus. I think this is like video number three of hiatus time. Yeah, I think so. Um, I'm just going into hibernation mode. Uh, I need to do that, and I recognize that periodically is something I need to do. And but while I'm in hiatus mode, and what that means to me is that I just want to be with my own energies. Clearly, I can't really just be with my own energies because I live with other people, but I can do so much, like going outside and being in the room. And since I have nothing to really distract me, I've been reading and still studying, and it's like maybe God wants me to rest, but it's like my interest is so peaked. It's like it's like I'm excited about learning. I am. And now that my mind is like clear and it's getting clearer and clearer and clearer every day, it's like now I'm thirsty and I don't want to miss anything because I feel like being as old as I am, I feel like I missed a lot. I missed a lot. I missed a lot. No regret, but it feels that way. Because I know if I had it to do all over again, not given what I know now, I probably wouldn't have. I know I wouldn't have. Because I've said self sacrificing is not godly. So I would not have self sacrificed myself as much. I still would have did what I was supposed to do. But when enough was enough, I would have cut it off like I did with everything in my life. I walked away from jobs like that. I walked away from men like that. And I walked away from friends like that. All you had to do was do me dirty like one time and it was a wrap. But during my period of black magic, it was like I had a hard time letting everything go. It was like everything in my south node was amplified, you know, except for like certain things, but everything was amplified. That's what black magic does. That's what black magic does. This wasn't what this video was supposed to be about, but here I am 12 minutes in, and I'm already talking about black magic. So I guess this is what this is going to be about now. Okay, so I'm gonna have to post another video after this one in, because this was not my intended topic. But black magic. Okay. I forget what I just said because I just threw myself off because I'm like, this is not what I wanted to talk about. This was not. So let me get my train of thought back. Okay, my Ironwood ancestors. Okay. Black magic. Okay. I'm gonna have to name the title of this. Wasn't supposed to be, but this is a black magic video. That's not what I wanted to talk about. Mm. Okay, what was I just talking about? Because that'll help me get my train of thought back. What was I saying? I can't remember. I can't remember. Well, because I lived so long with it, y'all. I lived so long with it. But I recognized the change. I recognized, and it was subtle. They were subtle changes. They weren't like, so, and when I say subtle change, I'm talking about subtle changes in my behavior, sudden changes in my thought process, subtle changes on how I dealt with people in certain situations, especially emotional. When you're under attack, they attack you on every level, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Okay? They and it's probably the people that's closest to you that smile in your face and but they don't talk much. They don't talk much. They listen a whole lot. And it's not that they listening that but they watching you, they observing you. And you're talking because you're so excited and you're not thinking your guards need to be up around these people because you feel as if you haven't vetted them properly. But what black magic does is it clouds your third eye and it blocks your intuition. Okay, along with the foods that we eat, along with the things we consume on an everyday level, from uh, uh, reality TV shows, because those things are toxic. Okay, um, to watching the news, because it's damn near all a lie, and they having you focus on things that really don't matter, when there's a whole nother level going on that a lot of people, if they're not spiritually awakened, are unaware of. Okay, in my situation, I had been aware all the way up until I was 25. You know, I still wasn't spiritual because I didn't know. To me, I was spiritual, but by it was by nature. It was by nature. Back then, I didn't know that it was intuition, or that I was empathic, or, that I'm a psychic, or that because I seen ghosts when I was a child, that I'm a medium as well. And, there's some other things that's coming. There was no names to this. These were just things that I had lived and that I talked about and that I wrote about in my journals. And that in each situation, even when I used to have dreams, I used to write them down, and I used to tell my family about them, because I was curious about them. But I always believed in God, but spirituality and God didn't connect because I didn't learn about spirituality. I learned all about religion. So and now mind you, I've talked in another video where I was, what's the word? Implicit in my almost demise. I was, because there was a point in time where I made a decision, and because I know who I am and I knew who I was then, that's how I can chronologize and categorize the demons that I faced. Yeah, there's definitely a thing called the Book of Monsters, and it is the Book of Monsters of Life. But we have been taught and bred that everybody that look human is very human, but they're not. Their spirit is ugly. Their spirit is demonic. Their spirit is reptilian. Their spirit, which to me, if they don't have a heart, if they can't empathize and sympathize, then they lack a soul. So to me, that makes them non-human. Okay? What some people say are reptilian, but whole nother story, whole nother video. But when you're under the guise, when you're under the illusion, because that's what it is. What it is somebody manipulating your emotions. And in my case, I was caught in a spider's web. I was caught in a narcissistic spider's web. I was. I definitely was. And the way you can tell is about the people that you come in contact with and the people that you meet. That's how you can tell. Okay? All right. But because you are in a state of confusion, meaning you are out of alignment, your emotional body is in overload, okay, with certain factors and circumstances that I won't go into detail right now, but I've listed some out and I've talked about them pretty much throughout my videos. Because I was under black magic for 20 years. For 20 years. But I was implicit in my almost demise because I went against who I was at the core of me. And we all know who we are. We do. We know. And we all know when we made a decision that went against our better judgment and what we would normally do. And I'm not talking about a decision that is for your betterment. I'm talking about a decision that, when you've drawn a line and you said, I'm not going to date this type of guy, and you wind up doing it, and you do it for impure reasons, meaning it wasn't because of love. It was because, in my situation, it was because I knew he would help me out. I had a full-time job and I was going to college, and I wanted to stop going to school. I wanted to stop going to work. and go to school full time. But it went against everything that I was and everything that I knew myself to be up until that point when I made that decision. And it was like, okay, you know what? God was like, she thinks she know better. She thinks she know better. Okay, we're going to give her a reprobate mind. And I was disconnected. That means the devil had his way with me. Literally. I was confused. The devil is confusion because God is not, because the devil is all about illusion. That is negative energy. If you're on your spiritual journey in this lingo, it's all the same. They're interconnected. Spirituality and religion are interconnected. It is my belief that going back and back, when you get to the Bible, okay, that there were certain passages omitted on purpose because they were spiritual in nature. They were very spiritual in nature. Because even with the present Bible, the King James Version, you may have clicked onto my channel because you're having a hard time reconciling your religious background and your spiritual journey. Well, I had to make the connection as well. I did. And it's basically, you were duped. You were duped and given your power out externally to a very real God, to a very real Muhammad, Elijah, Yeshua, Jesus. They were very real to me because they embodied an energy. Okay, no matter if they've taken a face off or whatever, the energy is very real. Yeshua, very real. Elohim, very real, very real. Whatever other names God has been given, even goddesses, from Isis to Yemiya, to Oya, to Oshun, yeah, to all of them, and Kali, and all of them, whichever ones, they all embody the same energy and live by the 108 universal laws. Man has its own law, but there are 108 that govern where we reside, which is here on this beautiful, ugly, sometimes planet that is so beautiful. And even in the struggle, I see the beauty. I see the beauty. I see the beauty in what humanity can be and what it has the potential to be. It really does. But it can't with people who don't have a heart. It really can't. Because then they do things in excess. And understand that I do things in excess. I was raised that way. I was conditioned to be that way. I was. My upbringing was bred and brought that way. The things that we watched, the things we were exposed to when you grow up in the hood, it's a setup from the get up. It really is. The projects were a setup from the get up. It was a part of this matrix, okay? It was, y'all. But black magic will have you clouded to where your intuition, your God-given gut feeling, which is your heart. I've said in the previous video, this is a heating pad. I said in the previous video that your heart gets the message first before the signals and transmitters take it up to your brain, and then your brain is already clouded, right? But let's say if your brain wasn't clouded, we've been through so much trauma and we've been fed so much fear with just blatant killings on TV and making up flimsy excuses for shooting the boy with a bag of Skittles, like things like that, that's meant to keep you in fear. That is meant to keep you bound in fear. Because if they can show you that this is a possibility that can happen, then you'll never open your mouth and you'll never speak up for yourself. Okay? But black magic, on top of you having to decipher and process the information your heart already received, the moment you was like, I'm going to do it. And then you said, well, no, I ain't going to do it or Maybe no. However you tell yourself no, you just talked yourself out of it. That's what I'm learning. That's what I'm learning on this journey. And so I'm having to literally reprogram my brain. Once you get to the point where you recognize where the lies are and who's lying and who is not who they say they are, once all those veils have been lifted and those masks have been pulled off of those faces that are around you, now you got to be like, okay, 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 okay. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, God. Okay, okay. I did a whole lot of crying. I don't know about y'all. But it was like, okay, after I done crying, it was like, okay, I know what I gotta do. I know what I gotta do. Thank you for connecting me back to my intuition, because once black magic has been lifted, once you become aware, the fog starts to slowly pull back. And that's how it happened for me. That's how it happened for me. But I wasn't so much under it, because black magic is supposed to manipulate you into thinking and believing that everything is your fault, that everything that is happening in and around you is your fault, even when you know in your heart of hearts, like I knew my behavior towards the people around me, towards the men that I was with, towards my family members. I knew it was very genuine, and it came from a place of love. It never came from a place of hatred, because once I realized my behavior, I changed. I literally did, because I don't want to be the person to hurt someone with my words. Now, if you deserve it, you deserve it. But it don't take me. It used to take me no time, no seconds flat to go from 0 to 60. But that was because I was being manipulated. I could walk over, and I and it happened. I watched it happen. I absorbed the energy around me because there was no filters. Black magic will take filters off of your aura, which is your protective field. Your auric field is protective. And depending on how high you are vibing, right? Depending on what comes through. What black magic does is, even if you're a high vibing person, it pokes holes in your auric field. It pokes holes so that demons and negative energy can come through. Okay? That is what's literally happening to you. Especially when you're like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. Y'all, I was in a state of confusion for 40 something. Well, I can't say 40 something years, because it was like, it's crazy. Let me see how I can describe it. Because I was confused as to why everything was happening, but I knew I didn't deserve it. And when it all came down to it, everybody who did me wrong, my baby just jumped through the window. Everybody who did me wrong, I literally had to go back to them and be like, what happened? Why did you say that? Why did you do that? Was it something I did? But I had did that with myself. And when I had done that with myself first, and I'm like, well, now ain't nothing you could have done, because if it was, then I would apologize and blah 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 blah. But when I was still in a state of confusion, after I went back into my memory deck, like, okay, no, babes, no, you didn't do anything harmful. So you went to these people, everybody, everybody, from family, friends to ex lovers, okay? Went to everybody. And you're like, yo, okay, this happened, blah, 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 blah. Well, why did you do this? Why did you say that? Blah, 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 blah. Some people were apologetic and owned up to it. The majority of them wasn't, though. Everybody in my life wasn't. They tried to blame me for it. They did. They really did. They tried to blame me for it. But there was always a comeback. Like, no, that's not how it happened. Or, no, you just sat there and lied. Or, but you did. It was never, okay, I'm sorry I did this. Or, so, but when they told me my mouth was reckless and how I talked to them hurt their feelings, and he never even came out and said it like that. But I recognized that, because I listened to what they said, and I, you know, accepted what they were saying. And I was minding their business because I was opinionated. If I saw a dude that was not crap, I said it. I called it out. I said it. And to them, that was me minding their business, but I didn't realize I was picking up on these people energetically so I could read them. like a book, which I always did with my family, which they did not like. I did that even as a child. My mama didn't like it either. No, I don't think any adult does if they're not willing to face who they are. Because it's funny though, because when my nieces and nephews told me about myself, I accepted it. If I was completely honest with myself, I accepted it. Now there were some things that there was flat out lies, and I called it like I saw it. But Black Magic will have you in such a state of confusion because your intuition is so you can be like me. I was a high vibing person, y'all. High vibing. Always have been. And when I changed and made that decision, and it was a devilish decision because it didn't come from my heart. It wasn't my intent was not of love. It really wasn't. And I knew it when I made the decision. But in my head, I said, well, I'm tired of getting hurt. I'm tired of this, and I'm tired of falling in love. And I'm telling y'all exactly what I said. I'm tired of falling in love and getting my heart broke. But every time I fell in love, it was genuine. And who would have known that my divine life twin flame partner could have been on the other side of that genuine love, but I opted to go the other way, and it wasn't genuine. I wound up falling in love with the dude, you know. My homegirl warned me. She was like, he a thug that believe in true love. And it wasn't true love for me. I fell in love with him, but it wasn't true from the beginning. The intent was not true. And that's devilish. That's negative energy. I allowed that in. And it bust open the door for all other types of demons to come in. I got a whole book of monsters coming for y'all. So, but yeah, it's Black Magic. It's a lot. It's a lot. Because you got to find your way back to the light. And then you got to hear yourself. You got to hear your auric field. You got to hear yourself. But you can't do it alone. Oh, baby, you can't do it alone. You really can't. You really can't. And on your spiritual journey, you'll discover that. And I don't mean you can't do it alone by yourself, because you are by yourself in the physical. You will be by yourself in the physical. You will be isolated. You will be in hiatus. And you may have been like me and didn't know that that's what you needed to do. And so you still was out and about and doing this. And God will have a way of sitting you down. And if you clicked on this video, you may be sitting down right now about to lose your freaking mind because you ain't never sat down before. Then you need to go back and look at my other videos because, baby, I talked about that a lot. I've gotten accustomed to it. Now, the thing is that I was always in hermit mode because I always